This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, joined by Matt Macklin in the immediate aftermath of Chris Eubank Jr.'s victory over Liam Williams. Matt, just your initial reaction, what did you make of his performance and his win?
I thought it was a strange performance. It was a good performance. He won and he was a clear winner. But it was, the first round when he scored that knockdown. I don't know if it was after that or it was in the second round. He scored another knockdown, obviously, but I don't know, it was either the first or second that he didn't score a knockdown, but he hurt him, his leg stiffened, and you could see, he's hurting him with these shots. Because sometimes a couple of the knockdowns looked like they were flash knockdowns, like he just walked onto a stiff jab, and it looked like it was a balance issue initially. But then when I seen that when the leg stiffened and he was hurt, I thought, no, those shots are hurting him. Obviously, he was way ahead then after 4 rounds, and it looked like it was just. It looked like it was just going to be one-way traffic at that point. But then for me, it looked like Williams stayed with it. It looked like Eubank switched off a little bit. I just felt like he coasted. Do you know what I mean? It looked like he was just happy to coast, and Williams was pressing the action. And I thought Williams was bagging a lot of these middle rounds here. Not because he was dominating Eubank or anything like that, but just because he was pressing the action and he was just landing more shots. And just more so because I felt Eubank was coasting. I just felt like he had a lot more to give. And then I thought he won the last couple of rounds and scored that knockdown, which I didn't feel was a knockdown, by the way. But he was a clear winner. But I thought he could have gone through the gears, perhaps. Now maybe that's not being fair to Liam Williams. I don't know, but I just got the feeling that Eubank was happy to coast as opposed to put his foot on the gas. And close the show.
Some people have been critical of his work since he's linked up with Roy Jones Jr., thinking that maybe he hasn't been able to quite implement what Roy Jones is teaching him into his style. From what you saw today, though, have you seen any improvements, or if so, how much of a better version of Junior do you think we've seen since his team up with Roy Jones Jr.?
Yeah, look, it's a fight he won, and he won. I think he had a lot more in him, So I think he could have been even more dominant, So I don't know, man. Look, listen, Roy Jones coasted in his career sometimes as good as he was and as exhilarating as some of his performances were. There were performances in Roy Jones's career. There were fights where he just coasted for 12 rounds. So look, maybe they're happy to coast. It was just, sometimes you like to see him maybe put the foot on the gas and go through the gears.
How do you think Junior would fare against Golovkin? Because he was a name that he mentioned in his media rounds this week. He still wants Golovkin next.
Well, I don't think he'd be able to coast against Golovkin, you know what I mean? But then again, he probably wouldn't, you know what I mean? If he was under threat, the fight would be different. I think maybe the reason he did coast tonight was because he felt so in control. And he felt that he could maybe go on the gas if he needed to at any point. Yeah, look, Golovkin certainly nowhere near the fighter he once was, but he's still probably the man in the middleweight division. So, or Charlo. So they're the fights really now that I think Eubank needs to be sort of, trying to get.
One other fight, just quickly get your thoughts on, because I know I don't want to keep you for too long. Clarissa Shields earlier overcome Emma Kozin, and that's obviously setting up that bout with Savannah Marshall, provided Savannah is successful in her next outing. Just get your thoughts on Clarissa's performance and obviously the fiery interactions they had ringside.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Clarissa won every single round, won every second of every round, but she couldn't get the knockout. She did try, and she did try to. Maybe she tried too hard for the knockout. But I don't know, on that performance, I think I'd pick Savannah Marshall to beat her on that performance. I think Savannah Marshall would have knocked Kozin out, and I think look, she probably didn't perform to the best of her ability tonight, Clarissa Shields. But on that performance, I think I'd pick Savannah Marshall to beat her.
Right, Matt, I'll leave you now to enjoy the rest of your evening and safe travels back to Birmingham. Thanks for speaking to me in Boxing Social.
Cheers.